There's a specific kind of silence that falls over a room when someone walks in and the air just shifts. You felt it, maybe at a concert, maybe watching old footage of someone who changed everything. That particular silence where your body understands something before your brain catches up. That's what happened when people first saw Jaafar Jackson in full costume, in full light, as Michael. Not shock, exactly. Something closer to, I don't even know how to describe it, recognition. Like a memory surfacing from somewhere you didn't know you'd stored it. I'll tell you honestly, I wasn't prepared. I thought I'd built up some emotional immunity to this film. I hadn't. What makes Jaafar's resemblance so unsettling, and I mean that as the highest possible compliment, isn't just the cheekbones or the jawline. It's something scientists have a name for, the Uncanny Valley. That under-the-skin sensation when something looks almost perfectly right, but triggers a warning in your nervous system. Usually it signals wrongness. Jaafar flips it. Your brain doesn't say something is off. Your brain says, this is impossible. And then it says, but there he is. There's something I want to get to later. Something about this production that genuinely shook me. Something that almost didn't happen, that cost more than most people realize. Stay with me through the middle of this. It changes how you watch the film. But first, let's start in a makeup chair, and with a man whose work you need to know about. I need to talk about Bill Corso, because I don't think he's getting anywhere near the credit he deserves. Corso is an Oscar-winning makeup designer. He won for Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events and was also nominated for Foxcatcher. And the ask here was essentially take Michael's nephew and help him become something the world thought it had lost. No pressure. Was CGI involved in the film? Yes, selectively. Bubbles the chimp is CGI. The final trailer made that clear. Certain facial refinements around the nose and chin during close-up shots were digitally enhanced in post-production. But here's what Corso said at the Berlin premiere. The foundation was always Jaafar, always makeup, always real. The digital work came after, not instead. Every single day on set, the makeup room walls were covered floor to ceiling with era-specific photographs. If they were shooting the 1983 thriller period, every image was from 1983. That skin tone, that eyebrow shape, how the nose and chin read under that particular lighting. And across the film, Jaafar went through dozens of distinct looks, around 30 according to Corso himself, each one precisely calibrated to how Michael actually changed year by year. That's not a makeup job. I keep thinking about it. Living portraiture, maybe. I'm not sure there's a better word. And the dancing, yes, Jaafar did all of it. The moonwalk, the spins, all of it. Daryl Finnessy, a backup singer who worked with the real Michael, was on set. What he said stopped me cold. He didn't say Jaafar nailed the moonwalk. He said Jaafar captured Michael's small movements, the micro gestures. The way Michael would go completely still for a fraction of a second too long, right before exploding into motion. That pause before the storm, the detail nobody thinks to teach. I've come back to that observation probably a dozen times. CGI can approximate spectacle. It cannot approximate that pause. That lives in muscle memory, in blood. So how did the voice get handled? Because that's where this film made its most quietly remarkable choice and almost nobody is talking about it. The Billie Jean clip that dropped before release sparked a real debate. 8 million views, mixed response. Some fans said the editing felt off, the cinematography uninspired. Those criticisms aren't completely wrong, but everyone was arguing about the visuals and completely missing what was happening with the audio. And honestly, the audio is the most technically fascinating thing about this entire film. Jaafar Jackson can actually sing. Not in a charming, he gave it a try way. He'd been releasing his own music before this role existed. So the production team faced a real choice. Have Jaafar record the songs himself or use Michael's original studio masters. Most productions go one of those two directions. Music supervisor John Warhurst went somewhere else entirely. For every major musical sequence, the team captured 15 to 20 live vocal takes from Jaafar, actually singing into a real microphone on a real stage. Then, in post-production, those takes were woven together with Michael's archival recordings, shifting the balance based on what each scene needed. Studio sequences, more Jaafar.
The Motown 25 stage sequence, more Michael. The blend breathes. No AI. Warhurst was explicit about this to The Hollywood Reporter. Traditional mixing tools only, because people going to see this movie want real Michael to be part of it, not a simulation, the actual man in the actual recording. There are moments in the film, the studio sequences for Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, where Jaafar scats and improvises while the track takes shape, where you hear only him. Those moments gave me chills I wasn't expecting. You hear two things at once, a voice that sounds like someone the world is still grieving, and a voice finding itself for the first time. If this breakdown is doing anything for you, leave a like, it genuinely helps. And stay with me, because what comes next is the part of this story that deserves far more attention than it got. The film was supposed to come out in April 2025, then October 2025. It finally arrived April 2026. Most coverage treated the delays like a logistics problem. That framing misses what actually happened. During post-production, a clause was discovered in a legal settlement. Because of that clause, the entire third act, everything dealing with Michael's life after 1988, had to be removed, rewritten, reshot. The budget grew from roughly $120 million to somewhere between $165 and $200 million. The new ending and reshoots reportedly cost an additional $10 to $15 million on top of that, with some sources putting the number as high as $25 million when you factor in bonuses and extended production time. I've gone back and forth on whether that was the right call, genuinely. Not as a devil's advocate exercise, in an actual I can't make up my mind way. Part of me thinks they sanitized it. The story of Michael Jackson without its complications isn't the full story. It's a curated memory, a greatest hits album where someone removed the songs you most need to hear. But then I watch the film. I look at that Michael on screen, young, burning with ambition, dancing like the laws of physics are a polite suggestion, and I think maybe this is the right portrait. The version of Michael the world fell in love with, the one that changed music. Maybe telling that story with full feeling is enough. Fuqua reportedly fought hard to keep the film honest within those constraints. I think he mostly succeeded. What I can't shake is the review split. Critics, 26% on Rotten Tomatoes, audiences, 97%, and A- on CinemaScore. I have never seen a gap that wide for a film of this scale. The critics call it an expensive greatest hits package. The audience is left in tears, saying they felt like they saw something they thought was gone. Both are right, and the tension between them, what this film could have been versus what it chose to be, is where the real story lives. There's one last thing. I've been sitting with it since I first read about it. Kevin Mazur was the photographer who documented Michael Jackson's final This Is It rehearsals, some of the last images anyone got of Michael alive. A man who spent years in close proximity to the real thing, who knows what that presence felt like in a room. Mazur was brought in to shoot the first official photos of Jaafar, on set, in costume, in character. When he walked onto that stage, he said he felt like he'd gone back in time, that walking toward it felt like walking into the stadium to shoot the actual tour. He looked at Jaafar and said, the way he looks and acts, his mannerisms, he's Michael Jackson. I read that and I had to put my phone down for a minute. And then there's Prince Jackson, Michael's own son, executive producer on this film. He said publicly that this production was the closest he will ever get to seeing his father perform live again. I don't know what to do with that sentence. I've read it maybe 8 times. It hits different every single time. Because Prince wasn't talking about visual effects or audio engineering. He was talking about something that can't be manufactured, something that passed between Jaafar and the lights and the stage and the music, and arrived at something true. Is the film everything it could have been? No. There are structural gaps, places where it skims the surface when you want it to go deeper. The decision to end in 1988 leaves a significant chapter untold. Those criticisms are fair. But what Jaafar did, what Corso built, what Warhurst wove together from two voices separated by time, what Fuqua put on that IMAX screen. I sat in that theater, and somewhere in the second act, I stopped analyzing, stopped taking mental notes. I just watched. And for a few specific, suspended minutes, I forgot to remind myself this was a performance, that this was a nephew, that this was 2026. He was back. Not permanently, not completely, but in those moments, undeniably, he was back. And I've been thinking about what that means ever since. Tell me in the comments, were you there? Was there a moment where you forgot? A scene that got you? I genuinely want to know. And if you want to go deeper on this, the Thriller production, the Quincy Jones sessions, the Bad World Tour, stick around.